2 nights ago, my husband and I were extraordinarily tired earlier than usual, so we went to bed. And I had a hard night sleeping. It was one of those times where you're not resting. And in my dream, it was daytime and I was on a street and there was people around me, kind of like one of the protests or even one of the more violent things that are happening right now. And there was a cop in front of me and he was in riot gear and he had a black helmet on and everything. I was really angry at him, not for what happened, what's been in the news, or why people are protesting, or the people who are using the protests to do bad things. I was angry at him for what I felt was a more personal one-to-one reason. I waited, and I'm glaring at him, and I waited, and I knew what he was going to do. And sure enough, the helmet came back, and he looked at me, and he had these blue eyes. And he leaned forward to put eyes to eyes, his eyes close to mine, and I spit in his face. He jumped back, and you could feel his shock that I had been able to do that, much less would do that, spit in his face. But I remember when I was angry at him and glaring at him before he leaned down, it was like I was waiting, but the thought wasn't there. And I waited until he was right there close enough. And then I formulated the thought, the intent, and was able to do it. And that's a really hard skill to do. And I certainly can't do it on purpose, but I do know that when I quote unquote go to work, I do it a lot. For those of you who have been in the program enough to have things split so that you have someone who is co-conscious with you, I can tell you that I'm pretty sure and I suspect that the reason for that is it gives us a defense against what, well, the alien invaders are doing, because they will do things like that. Whether or not this was a dream, having the ability to hold one set of thoughts in the front and have a second personality who's really just you, but kind of like layered like a cake and following along you almost like a mental shadow, able to do their own thoughts in the background. They can't read the second, third, and fourth personality's thoughts. They can only read whoever is up front. This dream happened. I thought about it when I woke up the next day and I was like, could it be? Because they, talking about the aliens who do the abducting and the hybrids who are largely in charge of the program now. They will also implant memories and give you dream sequences without you ever having to leave. Dr. Carla Turner talks about one event in which she actually witnessed a person in the bed experiencing such a thing. And so who knows? It could have been just a dream inspired by what's going on. And there is the fact that I was hit with this person's emotion, which in dreams, I don't know how it is for you, but when I'm in a dream, I'm not going to pick up an emotion. I will know what's going on, like when you're reading a book. I will know this person's angry, or I will know something, or I will pick up cues from their expressions in my dream. But in this case, I was hit with their emotion as if I were awake, aware, and my empathy wires were just wide open. And the fact that I calculatingly waited for them to lean close. For those of you who have not been following my little transmissions, it has been tracked through some people's research that to get control of you, the grays would have to actually come down and get eye to eye, and there's a part in the back of your eye that they have to connect with, and that's how they psychically snap onto you and get control. They use that little area. Well, the hybrids have to do it too. I mean, after all, they are using the same superpowers passed on from their creators. I knew what he was going to do, and I have been zapped with that whammy quite a few times, but I couldn't know it consciously. Dream or not dream, that's up for you, but I do know that there is a lesson on how to fight back in this. If you can learn to make it where you're thinking about flowers up front and keep your intent in the behind, that does act kind of a shield, because you see, they can tap your frontal memory. They can tap your frontal lobe. They can get to your, the shallow stuff. The deep stuff, they have a little bit more trouble repressing and dealing with. It's just the way our brains are done. And well, they didn't used to. They might have improved on that, but let's hope not, because that's the key to our defense. If it is more than a dream, I have to question why they would be doing this. Well, no, I don't have to question that. It's pretty obvious. If they keep us divided and they keep us fighting, that's that makes us weak. And also, if you pay attention to some of the quote unquote holy messages that they send to us about how we're violent, horrible creatures, and that we need to change our ways and we need to unify and accept love and peace and let go of our anger and completely disarm ourselves and make ourselves basically easier to be pushed around. Yeah, aggravating this situation would definitely be on their agenda because that's what you do. If you don't know, you divide and conquer. That's why China has been caught quite a few times. Actually, over more than just the past couple of years, it's just for some odd reason people were ignoring it. They were caught doing basically espionage, causing unrest, and now there's a professor that's been arrested for taking money, and that could be why. There are people out there, well, it was because they're teaching you how to handle this and they're putting you in the thick of it so that you can come back with knowledge. And yeah, is that so I spit in his face to stop him from connecting me eye to eye to control me? I have a hard time believing that because you see, there's another thing besides divide and conquer that people have forgotten, and it's a beautiful little phrase. You're gonna hear me say it many times if you get to know me, and it's something I have said I don't know how many times, and I don't even know if I've said it on this channel, but I know I've said it millions of times before. It's almost like my motto: actions speak louder than words. It's like my ex. Well, one of my exes, but this one particular ex. He played a good game. He would pull people in. He would laugh and joke and get you to like him. And he really had a good front he would put out. He also gave me my first black eye. Actions speak louder than words. People loved him. People still think he's the good guy and I'm the villain. But guys, he gave me my first black eye. There's a lot of other terrible things he did to me, but actions speak louder than words. Pay attention. Always pay attention. So when it comes to this, I repressed my actionable intent to defend myself. And after that, things just kind of went blank, and I knew they went blank, so he got me anyway in the dream, or perhaps in the event. I mean, I'm just going to go with it like it's a dream. So he got me anyway in the dream, but hey, maybe it'll be like War of the Worlds. Okay, that's mean. But who said I was nice?